Didn't quite see it yet. Here we go. We're on page 334, numbers 1 through 28. Hey, I mean what I'm saying now. Do not be distracted. I promise you I'm going to take care of you. If you don't have a pencil, if you don't have a sheet of paper, that's fine. I said put a note to yourself, and you need more paper. All right? You need to tell your parents. All right? I need a pack of paper. Girls, I know you're sweet. You're not giving boys stuff anymore. All right? They don't come prepared. Don't give them a pencil. Don't give them paper. All right? The reason why they come unprepared is because you bail them out every day. Stop bailing them out. All right? Come prepared. All right? What do you need? Why? What did I tell you to do? Not Walmart. Amazon. Like 500 pencils you get for $5. And if you spend a little bit extra, they'll even send them to you already sharpened. Right? No excuses. And you can do yourself a favor. You can your mom will go, wow, I'm raising such a great kid. He had a problem, and he said I can order it on Amazon for $5. They'll probably give it to their debit card and let you buy them and ship them right to your house. And if you don't have paper, they can overnight you paper. Dirt cheap. And you can say, Mom, I'm taking care of my own problems. All right? And they'll be happy to take care of that because they don't feel like going to CVS to pick up pencils and paper either. Don't you agree? Right? So go get you a pencil. All right? Go get pencils. No. All right? Anybody else need a pencil? Wow, only one needed a pencil today. That's good. All right? So here we go. Who needs a piece of paper? You are not allowed to give away your paper anymore. Don't do that. All right? Do not do that. I don't care. I want people to hear me screaming. Boys in the back, we don't need to be talking while you're getting that done. Merry Christmas. That's for next year. Shh. Only you. All right. Merry Christmas. Don't borrow any more paper. Are you borrowing paper still? No more. Who else said same? You're borrowing paper? You're borrowing paper still? Hey, this is it. Last time I'm feeling generous. Oh, so you want me to give you one too?
I can buy some.
No, I'm going to give you one because you're a good kid. What about you? No?
I'm a good kid. I don't need some.
Good. What? No, you. I don't like. I'm not giving you any. Girls, definitely.
It's okay, bro. Give me all of them. I have to go crazy. Red's the color. I'm on the YouTube.
Okay. Again.
Hi, YouTube.
Let me say this real quick, guys. Hey. Listen, you might have homework, all right? So I want to concentrate now. I do have a little bit more paper here. Shh. I don't mind giving out, but I am serious about, hear me what I'm saying about being able to take care of your own problems. And Amazon is an amazing thing, all right? You can order and they'll send it to you.
Guys, have love. Keep up love.
Sit down. No. Sit down.
It's green.
It's been a 5-minute video.
30
30-minute vid of who you're obsessed with. with.
It's good.
I do. I know.
I'll train you.
Yeah. You know, you get the pencil on.
Oh yeah, he's got trains.
No, I just had yellow. Dude, you
Yeah.
got post yellow.
Okay.
I know the last.
Now, again, no, listen, I don't need help, trust me. If I need help, I'm going to ask for help. All right, but right now I don't need help, because I can get kids quiet in a second. All right? Now, again, like I said, guys, seriously, I'm trying to help you out with your parents. Tell them you need pencil and paper, tell them you'll order it from Amazon, and it'll be here next day. You just need $5. Maybe even, I don't want to hear any more. I'm just saying, you can take care of your own problems. Don't come into my class tomorrow with problems. All right? Get yourself organized. Everybody's got paper. All right? Stay organized now. All right? Time to go. Here we go. Now, from yesterday, guys, I don't really think we're learning anything new. All right? I don't think we're learning anything new. So here we go. I think we still should be able to get this thing done. Now, remember, most important, from now on, yesterday I asked for what a percent was and people didn't know, but today, we're going to say a percent just means out of 100. Hear me, girls? A percent just means out of 100. That's all it means. All right, so if I say 25%, that means you have 25 out of 100. If I say 85%, that means you have 85 out of 100. Now, somebody asked me a good question yesterday. They will say, well, most tests don't have 100. And because they weren't listening, they didn't hear my response. Most tests don't have 100, so they scale it down. All right, and how do I know they scale it down? Listen to what I'm saying. Put your hand down and listen to me. 80% means 80 out of 100. It can also mean 8 out of 10. It can also mean 40 out of 50. It can also mean 4 out of 5. There's lots of ways to scale down 80% because 80% is just a fraction. All right, that's it. Keep your hands down. You don't need to ask anything. I'm doing a great job. All right, so confidently, percent just means out of 100. All right, now I said if you want to be great at math, you have to understand completely fractions, decimals, and percents. And I firmly believe if you are good at fractions, decimals, and percents, I can teach you any math. All right? But most kids get stuck when they get to higher level math because they don't understand the basics. That is why I'm telling you it is important this week to pay attention. All right? Very important. All right? So, I don't know why you're distracting me. You're supposed to be listening, not asking questions, not doing anything else. All right? Now, it says, number 1, write each decimal as a percent. If you recall yesterday, we changed 60% to a decimal by moving it to the left 2 places. So if I'm going to convert a decimal to a percent, it's easy. Just move it to the right 2 places. Hear me out. Put your hand down. I'm going to ask for questions when I'm ready to. So if I tell you 0.6, everybody in here should be able to say, that's simple. It is just 60%. All right? It is just 60%. Shh, no. Just be quiet. 60% is the answer. Next, 0.32. Everybody should be able to just quiet and let me go through some examples, and then I get to the next group, and then you answer the questions for me. I want to make sure. I don't want people telling me something wrong and that messing everybody up. That's why I do the first problems first, so you know they're correct. And you don't have to listen to someone make a mistake. All right, 32 is the same as 32%. Now notice I moved the decimal 2 places to the right. 1, 2, boom, that's all I'm doing. Now the next one is more complicated because there's 3 decimal places. That doesn't matter. You still move the decimal to the right twice. So this answer is 54.4%. Now, if you want, you can stay a step ahead of me if you'd like, but all this is being written down. All right? Now, if you can confidently answer number 4 correctly, that means you understand. So I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Number 4. Write the answer down. I'm not asking for the answer. Write the answer down. And then you're going to be able to pat yourself on the back. So, 0.06. Look at your answer. If you put 6%, you're in good shape. Woo! Hey, we're not celebrating because we always get them right, remember? Yeah. Celebrations are for when you do something out of the ordinary. All right? Jack, you always get the problems right, so there's no reason to celebrate. Of course they're right. I wrote it down. All right? Yes, sir. That's okay. 6.0 is the same as 6. It's just mathematicians are lazy, or I shouldn't say lazy as much as we are efficient. So there's no reason for me to put 0.0. If you put 0.0, I'm not marking it wrong. It's just not necessary. All right? So now let's take a look at question number 5. Give you 5 seconds. 5 seconds. All right. Aiden, do not embarrass me. 8.7 what? Thank you. 8.7%. All right? Now, again, please, guys, listen carefully. That's simple. Simple. All right? You have to know how to do that. All right? That's called converting a decimal to a percent. All right? Now we're going to talk about converting a fraction to a percent. And there are things that I expect my 6th graders to know. All right? I expect them to know basic fractions, converting them to decimals. All right? So put your hands down. Again, I'm not asking for questions. Everybody in here should know that 1/4 is a quarter. All right? And that's why they named it that. A quarter. It's a quarter of a dollar. Literally, it's a quarter. And what's the value of a quarter? 25 cents. That's where we're getting that information. But again, they're not asking for a decimal. They're asking for a percent. So you already know, I know. The answer is 25%. You didn't have for me to tell you that. You already knew that. That is common sense. You should know that. If you don't know that, I'm telling you, think in terms of money. 1/4 of a dollar is 25 cents, is a quarter. All right? Now, for question 7, all right, the main objective here is to convert it to hundreds. All right? So I'm not expecting you to know this, although you should be able to see the logic. 3 out of 25 is the same as 12 out of 100. Now, please look up on the board. And if you don't know that that's 12 out of 100, you can raise your hand and say, please help me, I'm not very good at fractions. Does anybody have any issues with why 3 over 25 is the same as 12 over 100? All right, so the reason it is because I multiplied both the numerator and denominator by 4. No, stop talking. Do you understand now why it's 12 over 100? Do you understand in the back why it is 12 over 100? All right. Now, because it's out of 100, that is a percent. 12%. You can only write it as a percent if the denominator is a 100. So your objective is to make the fraction out of 100. If it's not out of 100, you've got to make it out of 100. All right, if it's possible. Put your hand down because you're brilliant. All right. Next, we're talking about 11 over 20. So I've got to make it out of 100. Now, stop. I know these are easy. You don't have to tell me. I don't want to confuse people. 11 out of 20 would just say I multiply both by 5. So that would be 55 out of 100. Now, the people who raised their hand on the last question hopefully don't need to raise their hand on this question. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions with why I multiplied by 5? All right, so because I multiplied by 5 and now it's 55 over 100, we can say that that is what? 55%. No, stop asking me. No. All right. 7 out of 40. Now we have a problem. The reason why 7 out of 40 is an issue is because most kids don't know what to multiply 40 by to get 100. Just stop talking. We're learning something in here. You're going to stop talking, and when you stop talking for a period of time, I'm going to start calling on you. All right? That's what the deal is. All right? So now I have the number 7 over 40. All right? 7 over 40 is hard. Hello? Yes. Okay. Thomas, you're out of here. Sorry. Okay, so now 7 out of 40. The reason 7 out of 40 is harder is because we don't know, or most kids don't know, to multiply 40 times 2.5. They just don't know that. All right, in the future you'll know that, but right now I would not expect you to know that. So now the best thing to do is to convert this to a decimal. All right, the best thing is to convert this to a decimal. Now, how do I convert that to a decimal? Remember, on your calculator, you're going to go 7 divided by 40. All right, and what is 7 divided by 40? 0.175. 0.175. 0.175. Now again, calculators are just like paper and just like pencils. All right, you're supposed to bring your calculator with your pencil and your paper every single day. I know you do. Okay? Hurry, guys, just grab one and sit down. Let's go. Wasting time. Wasting time. What? No, nothing. I do nothing. I'm not ready for that. So now, everybody did 7 divided by 40, which was 0.175. Now, why is that important? That is important because now that takes us right back to where we were on the previous problem. So to convert from a decimal to a percent, I just move the decimal 2 places to the right. So that now becomes 17.5%. All right, 17.5%. All right. Now, for my class, I expected my class to kind of know what 5 divided by 8 was. It's one of those fractions I said you were going to use it so many times, you should try to put it to your memory. Do you remember?
It's like 4.
No.
0.625.
Yes, it was. In fact, 0.625. And again, it's okay. So listen, 1/8 is 0.125. 3/8 is 0.375. 5/8 is 0.625. And 7/8 is 0.875. And like I said, the only reason I know those is because I do them all the time. All right, you will do the eighths a whole bunch. All right, so in this case, 5/8. If you forgot on your calculator, just go 5 divided by 8. And when you do 5 divided by 8, you will notice that that is 0.625. And then you move the decimal 2 places to the right. So that becomes 62.5%. Anybody have any questions or concerns? All right. So now let's go down to question number 11. And I like to tell kids this is the ERB type question. All right. And we're coming up to ERBs, and I'm trying to get everybody the help they need. All right. I want maximum ERB scores. All right. So this is what we need to talk about here. It says, decide whether using pencil and paper, mental math, or calculator is most useful when solving the following problem. Now, first of all, we should be able to do mental math on most things. All right? So calculator is also very simple for us now that you understand the keystrokes. All right? Fraction and the division. But let's see what it says. In a survey, 50 students were asked whether they prefer pepperoni or cheese. 20 students said they preferred cheese. What is the percent of students surveyed who said they preferred cheese? Well, how many preferred cheese? How many preferred cheese?
20.
Out of how many? So the fraction that you would write down would be 20 out of 50. Now, come on, man. That is simple, simple, simple. What percent is that? Think about it now. Listen to me. Hold up. Put your hands down because I want her to think. Listen to me now. Percent means out of what? Right now it's out of So what do I have to do to 50 to make it 100? Guys, I really don't. I don't need help. All I'm interested in is if I say something you're not sure, you put your hand up and say, I'm not sure. All right? But that's perfect. You agree? Easy. All right? So far, it was 20 out of 50, but that's not out of 100. So we just quickly made it out of 100. Now, if I would have said something like this, 2 out of 7, then I would just use a what? I would just use a calculator. Right? Now, if we wanted to, we could divide that by hand, but I'm not making you do that because I know you know how to divide. All right, is everybody happy with that explanation? All right, now I'm to the spot where I'm going to go around the room and just ask for the answers. All right, now in my class, I make kids pay attention. All right, so we're going to, in the back, we're going to start with the girls in the back, and we're just going to go right around this way, come back this way, and come up this way. All right, so you're up. 0.15 is what percent? 15%. Stay with me so we can be done. 15%. All right? And remember, your job now is to put your hand up and say help. All right? Or don't interfere so we can be done. All right? Next. 83%. Amazing. Next. Wow, I am so proud of myself. 32.5%. Next. 8.1%. And next. What? 42%. Thank you very much. Now you understand this is how we learn, guys. You let me explain it, and then boom, it's easy. All right? So far, so good. Next. Now, mentally, you should already know this. 3/4 is what percent? Very good, very good. Think of it like this for Miss Pliego's class if you haven't heard this. 3/4. If I have 3/4 in my pocket, I have 75 cents. 75 cents is 75%. What?
So let's say it's like 2/4. I know that's simple, but it's obviously 50% because 2/4 would be.
That's 100%.
All right.
That's exactly how you do that. Very good. All right, Aiden, you're up. 2/5. How much?
40%.
I'm proud of you. 40%. Now, do you just know that, or did you use a calculator? You just know that. That's what I'm hoping. All right? I'm hoping you guys are getting better with fractions and knowing the numbers. If you don't and you'd like me to show you, I can show you. All right? Next. 3/8 was one I said we could memorize, but most people don't. Wow, very proud of you. Good job. 37.5%. Let me make this clear. I want my kids to know 3/8 is 0.375. If you don't know that, you could just divide it on the calculator. 3 divided by 8. All right, which was 0.375, and then jumped it to 37.5%. Now, I'm not expecting you to know 3/16, so what is, oh, I'm sorry, Jack.
I divided my calculator. I think it's
18.75%. Now, the only time I want you chiming in is if you're going, man, I'm not sure how he got that. That's the most important part of the day, is if you don't know something, speak up. That's what you're supposed to do. All right, any questions with 18.75? All right, I'm proud of you. Jack, tell me.
28%.
That was an easy one, correct?
Yeah, because you used to 75
Or make it out of 100 quicker.
Yeah, you can do
By
it
four.
times 4.
Times 4. Thank you. That's what I want to hear out of you. 28%. All right, so we're at 28%. Up top now. Here we go. You get to read the question for me. Go.
Decide whether using a pencil.
No, next. I don't care about all that.
Okay. In the theme park survey, 75 visitors were asked whether they prefer the Ferris wheel or the roller coaster. 30 visitors prefer the Ferris wheel. 5% of visitors surveyed said that they prefer the Ferris wheel.
So what would I have to do? What fraction? Shh.
So, let it be 30 over 75.
Good job. 30 over 75. And now?
And then you make that to 100.
I can't do that real
Yeah,
quick,
yeah.
right? So what can I do? Use your calculator.
Oh yeah, 30 divided by 75.
And what is that?
30 divided by 75 is 0.4, and then you move it over twice. We'll make it 40%.
Happy. Good job. 40%. Now remember what I'm telling you. here's the time you guys speak up now. I can't come around and say, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Everybody's good, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, here we go.
All right. So.
Now, you got something a little bit more challenging, right?
Yeah.
Now, I personally think comparing decimals is the easiest way to do this. Hear me out. I think comparing decimals is the easy. I hate comparing fractions. Right? So you're allowed to use a calculator, so convert them to decimals. That's my opinion.
All right. So 205 will 40 over 100,
Well, tell me what decimal that is.
and that as a decimal would be. One sec, sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Point 4.
Good. And 45% is what decimal?
45% is 0.45.
Yes, sir. So now, which one's, tell me the comparison.
The
0.45 is
0.45 is bigger.
greater than.
Okay.
Now, I'm okay with saying bigger, but math, we say greater than. So 0.45 is greater than 0.4. Now, sometimes when you're comparing decimals, it's a good idea to have the same number of decimals.
Yeah, that's way.
All right, that way you can look at 45 and 40. Okay, Gavin, thank you. All right, now this one should be pretty easy for you, Gavin, because 9% is, are you sure? Now listen, again, here's what the problem I'm having with some kids who are good at math.
Oh, I know.
Hold on 1 second. Sometimes when you take a test, you're too confident, and then what happens is you make a mistake on easy problems. And this is a good example of that. All right? Tell me, again, now that you've rethought it, you can tell me the answer is what? 9% is greater than 0.9. So convert to a decimal. 9% is what?
0.09.
Yes. Stop talking. 0.09. There's no confusion now. You convert them to the decimals. So 0.09 compared to 0.9. Now, as some of you guys told me, you prefer to have the same number of decimal places. So now it's easy to say that 0.09 is less than 0.9. So it's easy to make a careless mistake on that. Girls, is that clear back there?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Do you have to be decimals, or could it be a fraction?
No, you could say 9% and compare that to 90%.
Yes,
Alright, yeah,
That's okay to do that. I just prefer what? Decimals. Me personally. All right, I just think it's easier. All right, Miles, thank you so much. 25, buddy. Tell me about it.
25.
You have a calculator?
I think I have one.
Here, there you go.
Thank you.
So now, tell me what 7/12 is as a decimal.
7/12. Saying
Clear.
0.58.
Good. 0.58 and a little bit more. Do you agree?
Yeah.
So now, can you tell me?
Then it'd be you for 60%. You use the decimal.
That's right. So what decimal is that?
0.60.
Yes, sir.
And so 0.60 would be good.
Yes. Or we would say 0.58 is less than 60. Very nice. Ash, I appreciate it now. You've been awesome. You're up. Tell me about 26 now, buddy. Now be careful. They're trying to trick you.
Okay, so you move over 2, so it'll be 3.7 or 37, and 37 is greater than 3.7.
Okay, yes, you said, but now listen, what I want you to do is I want you to learn to not say as much. All right? So start with 0.037 and tell me what you're doing to that. Are you doing anything to that, or are you changing which one are you changing? I'm
I'm
confused.
moving over by 2.
Which one?
0.037.
Okay, so when I move that over by 2, it becomes?
It becomes 3.7.
Yes, that's clear now for me. So that would be 3.7. Let me write it down. 3.7%. So now, obviously,
37%
is.
greater than.
But now, in math, and you're 100% correct, but we read from left to right. So we would say 3.7% is?
Less.
Yes, less than. All right, is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Perfect, perfect. All right, very good. All right, so here we go. Tell me about 27. Go.
All right, 1/2 of the 900 students at Jefferson Middle School are boys. 1/10 of the boys are 1/10 of the boys are in the band, and 1/5 of those play the trumpet. What percent of the students at Jefferson are boys who play the trumpet?
Okay, this one's tricky. So listen, this is the ERB question. All right, I need everybody to pay attention. This is the hard one. All right, so I'm going to write down 900 students, which would be a good idea for you to write down too. Here's how I want you to break this down. So we'd have 900 students. All right. Now, if I have 900 students, come on, girls. It says half of the students are boys. So how many are boys?
450.
Four. Let him answer. So now underneath that, I'm going to say 450 boys. All right. Now, here's something hard. Let's see if you can do it. 1/10 of the boys are in the band. So how many are in the band? What does 1/10? You don't need a calculator. No. What does 1/10? Say your answer. No. 1/10 means to do what? Yes. 1/10 means divide by 10. Just like 1/2 means to divide by 2. Is everybody hearing me?
Yes, sir.
So now, if I say 1/10 of the boys and I divide 450 by
45.
yes. Whenever you divide by 10, you move the decimal once. Is everybody with me? So now underneath that, I'm going to write down 1/10. So 45 boys are in the what? Are in the band. All right, stop and listen. I'm not asking that. I'm letting him do a problem. All right, now it says 1/5 of those play the trumpet. So how many play the trumpet?
9.
9. How did I get 9? Tell us.
5 divided by 45.
Or 45 divided by? Yes. So 9 boys play the trumpet. That's what you're telling me. So now the final question. What percent of the students are boys who play the trumpet? 9 out of 900. Perfect. That's a good job. And I reduced by what? 1 over 100. Very nice. And 1 over 100 is what? 1%. Everybody has to know that. Everybody has to know that. I asked you to write that down. I didn't ask you to write down 1%. I didn't ask you to write down 9 over 100. I asked you to write all steps down. Now, the most important thing for today, outside of learning percents, more about them, is that you understood what 1/2 means. Somebody tell me what 1/2 means. What operation am I doing? If I say 1/2, what do I do?
It'd be like,
How do I find half of something? Divide by 2. How do I find 1/10 of something? Divide by 10. How do I find 1/5 of something? You divide by 5, guys. Don't let that mess you up. Don't let that mess you up. And what can we say about the numbers? The numbers were pretty easy. You shouldn't have been using a calculator. You shouldn't have been using a calculator. Now, I tell kids, sometimes you can use calculators just to check yourself, which is perfectly fine. All right? Now, let's talk about 28, and then we're done with our homework. How much time do we have?
Like 8 minutes.
Oh, we got so much time, I may just drop back to the book and do some extra problems. All right, you're welcome. All right, 28, here we go. It says, rainforest. Uh-oh, you get to read. You're up.
Rainforests are
Hold on, let me blow this up.
rainforests are home to 90,000 of the 250,000 identified plant species in the world. What percent of the world's identified plant species are found in the rainforest?
Very good. So what would that be? Now remember, we're not doing a percent first. Write it as a fraction first. Boys, you guys are not listening to me now. All right, come on, I'm almost done. We're going to have 5 minutes. You can listen for 5 more minutes. I appreciate everything you guys have done so far. It's been a perfect day. All right, let's finish it up. All right, so what fraction do I have?
Not 90,000
Yep,
over 250,000.
you are amazing. 90,000 over 250,000.
Couldn't you just
Now we're gonna
equal
reduce
the
it.
zeros?
Yes, so what she's saying is true. So look, guys. So we cross out zeros. So let me do this. Cross out this one, this one, this one, and this one. So I'm left with what?
9 over 20.
9 over 25. Now we're practicing our mental math here. So 9 out of 25, if I had to convert that, what would I multiply by?
4.
4, which makes it?
36%.
Yes, I'm proud of you, girl. 36 out of 100, which is 36%. Now, hopefully you felt like today wasn't hard at all either. So now we are done. All right, we're done. No homework, and you're welcome. I appreciate that.